All right, let's begin. The DeFi House, Lesson 1, Stop holding and start using. So, this lesson is all about activating your capital, giving you the basics. Because you are no longer just a crypto holder or hodler, I should say, right? You just stepped into the first room of the DeFi House. So, basically, you are now becoming a crypto operator, a strategist, so to say, a business. The moment you start looking at this as a business, this is the moment when you will be like, aha, all right, now I get it. So, what I want you to take from this lesson, the very first one, is this mindset shift that DeFi, decentralized finance in general, is not just a huddle. It's not just to buy and hold crypto forever. So let's begin. The real problem, most people think they are investing in crypto, right? You go out to some exchanges, you buy some Ethereum, some Solana, some Bitcoin, or any other altcoin or any other crypto investment. And you basically leave it in your wallet or an exchange and feel pretty clever, right? You bought some crypto, you invested, you now own that crypto, and you're basically just holding it, right? But here is the real reality. Your Ethereum that you bought could be actually generating you additional yield. Your Solana, for example, that you bought and hold in your wallet could be backing a loan you used to farm additional yield across multiple DeFi protocols. So basically, your assets, if you are simply buy and hold, they are sleeping. Yes, you might benefit from the upside, you might actually suffer from the downside, but essentially, your assets are just sleeping. And DeFi is built to wake them up because we all know that in traditional finance, also known as the TradFi in a crypto terms, your bank uses your money to earn the yield, right? We all know how the fractional banking works, right? So the moment you deposit, let's say $1,000, euros, pounds, doesn't matter, into the bank, they can actually use your money up to 90% of your deposits to actually go ahead and borrow and get interest on your deposits and basically create a lot more money into the system without using their own capital, so to speak. It's just a very, very simple, basic explanation. So in DeFi, using decentralized finance applications, you can actually be the bank. You can be the bank and you are able to create your own infrastructure, your own system. And here is how. The easiest thing, you can lend your stablecoins or other cryptos. You are able to lend to others. So basically, you operate as a bank. By lending your assets, you are able to get additional yield without selling them. So, for example, if you bought $10,000 worth of Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana or Sui, doesn't matter. You are able to deposit that capital into the DeFi protocols and lend them out. The good thing about it is you are generating yield 24/7, no matter the market conditions. Even if the market is really down in a bearish conditions, the yield is still being generated. Maybe not as high because the whole formula is dynamic. It's based on the market activity, right? But you are still getting the yield. Another thing is that you are in control by lending your assets. It's all permissionless. You are able to deposit and withdraw anytime. You can deposit right now. You can withdraw your money the next minute or the next hour, day, week, month, whatever. Doesn't matter. You are in full control. Then you are able to borrow against your deposits. So you keep your crypto as collateral, for example, in one of the DeFi protocols, and you're able to borrow in other assets. So you have two benefits. You keep the upside because you are not selling your crypto, and also you get liquidity if you need some quick money to do something. So, for example, you deposited $10,000 worth of Ethereum into the protocol. You are now able to borrow, in most cases, up to 80% of your deposit. So you're able to borrow up to 8,000 worth of assets from that protocol. So the most standard, the most useful thing you can do is when you deposit a volatile asset like Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, SUI, doesn't matter. You're able to borrow in stable coins. So for example, if you need a quick cash or just some stable coins, you're able to do that like that. Boom, you deposit the money as collateral and you borrow against your collateral in stable coins. Now, you are able to repay the loan at any time as well. You are in a total control. You can repay the next minute, the next hour. You can repay in parts or in full. You can repay after a month, after a year, without repaying on a monthly basis. You are in a full control. You decide how you want to repay the loan. So, what can you do with the borrowed capital, right? Well, anything from something as simple as just withdrawing back to your bank and using the stable coins converted to the actual fiat currency, right? Dollars, pounds, euros, whatever, and buy something if you need to. Or you can actually use the borrowed capital to deposit into different DeFi protocols to earn additional yield by providing liquidity. So we're going to go through all of this in a detail. I'm going to show you the exact methods, exact steps, exact protocols. We're going to build the positions, liquidity provision, lending and borrowing provision, everything together. I'm going to walk you through absolutely every single piece. You're also able to stake the yield-bearing tokens. So for example, one of the craziest things you can do in DeFi, which is not that difficult to understand. We all know that, for example, Ethereum and Solana, you're able to stake them. And if you stake them, you basically lock your original Ethereums or original Solanas to the protocol, and in exchange, you receive the liquid staked tokens. And they act as a proof, as a receipt that you actually staked this amount in this protocol, and you receive into your wallet as staked tokens, so to speak. They represent the actual amount you're staking in the protocol. So that asset already generates a yield. And here is the cool part. You are actually able to deposit the liquid staked token into the lending protocol and borrow against your staked assets in stablecoins. Then use the stablecoin, for example, to buy even more Solanas or Ethereum, stake them again, and lend them out again and borrow against them even more, essentially creating the leverage effect. And all of that may sound complicated, but trust me, I'm going to explain it in a very, very simple terms. Absolutely everyone will be able to understand it. So DeFi unlocks the power of your capital, and you are able to deploy your capital very efficiently across multiple DeFi protocols and earn additional yield. Now, you may actually ask, what kind of yield can I expect? Well, it really depends from your risk profile, but I'm not a very big risk taker. I don't like extreme volatility. I don't like investing in some sort of a meme coins, risky assets. I don't need that. I use DeFi. So, for example, without over risking too much by going into extremely volatile assets and liquidity pools, etc. So, basically, using a simple pools like Solana versus USDC, Ethereum versus USDC, I am able to generate approximately 0.4% per day, 0.4% a day, which is a really, really good number. Really good number. If you add on a monthly, weekly, and yearly basis, this is a pretty big returns that for some people may seem unrealistic. How can you make this money? It how can it be possible? And it's totally understandable that at first it may look a bit confused and a bit of a how all of the how can this work without being some sort of a scam or something. But I'm gonna walk you through everything and you will see exactly where the yield comes from. It's very simple. So being a DeFi investor and liquidity provider is the best thing you can do in crypto. First of all, you are getting the actual skill that you will be using many years in the future. So this is a skill. If you learn how to trade NFTs, meme coins, etc., these are the narrative based skills. And the moment NFT or meme coin dies, yeah, you're left with no actual skill. By learning how to utilize DeFi protocols, you will have the skill for continuous education and for continuous earning opportunities. So it's definitely the best thing you can do. And what I like the most about DeFi, that you are able to earn no matter the market conditions. Because decentralized exchanges, transactions, the swap between one asset to another will always happen. It's always happening. And when someone swaps from one asset to another, they pay the fee. That fee goes to people like me, liquidity providers. It's very simple. So, what I like the most is that I don't need to chase the upside of the market or the downside. The DeFi works best when the market moves sideways, when people are fighting. Someone is buying, someone is selling, someone is buying, someone is selling. That's where the most volume occurs. And the more volume there is in a liquidity pool, the more fees people are paying, and the more we as liquidity providers earn. So I just gave you the very basics, just activated your capital and activated your mindset. So I really hope that this first lesson was not too difficult, was not too advanced, but actually inspiring and inviting you to continue watching this whole program. Because now you should have this mindset shift that, okay, yes, I do have some cryptos, but I had no idea that my crypto can work for me 24/7. 24/7. So DeFi is not just hodl or hold. Yeah, it's so much more. You are able to earn a very good income using DeFi protocols. And trust me, there are many of them. I'm going to show you the most trusted ones, the biggest ones, and the ones I'm using myself on a day-to-day basis. So this is the lesson one. This is the first video, the first introduction to the DeFi house. So you just stepped inside the house. You were welcomed by this lesson, and now you should have enough curiosity and enough understanding on, okay, so what is all of that, to continue to lesson 2 and beyond. So thank you for watching, and I will see you, of course, on the next video.